On this show, we tend to concern ourselves with the little things, which of course means we usually completely neglect the big things. We should probably neglect the little things, too.
Hello, and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name's Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Vinnie.
How you doing?
Great. I got some news for you and for our listeners. This sort of relates to Seincast. I started watching a show.
To go on
Netflix. It was an NBC show. Ran through the 90s and the early 2000s.
Okay.
Begins with an F. Single word.
Are you... Oh!
Actually, no. Frasier. Liz and I started. We watched Frasier the other night.
Oh, are you putting me on?
No, I'm serious. Based on your recommendation, you have been going on and on about Frasier in our off-mic conversations, and I decided to give it a shot the other night, and we made it 3 or 4 episodes in. Fantastic show. I'm loving every minute of it. So good.
I tend to obsess when I get into something, and I'm on a Frasier kick right now. Hey, we're on board.
You thought I was going to say Friends. I will never watch Friends.
Okay, well,
Screw Friends.
Jury's out on that still. We'll get you.
It was a show that stole a lot of Emmys from Seinfeld, I think, right? Seinfeld only won Best Comedy for its 4th season, and it lost every year to Frasier.
I believe Frasier was like the Game of Thrones of our time now, just dominated. Frasier is one of the most well-written shows I've ever, had the privilege of watching. And it also is very nostalgic for me because it's this was the 90s, and I miss this little snippet of the 90s, this West Coast comedy, Seattle.
The Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So it's just a real treat now to go back and visit this episode, or this series.
If you haven't heard of the show called Frasier, check it out. It's on Netflix. Welcome if it's your first time listening to Seincast. Vinny and I are just going to, chat here for a little bit before we get started with this week's episode. Wanted to remind our listeners for the last time that I'll be hosting Summer of George Trivia this Monday, August 29th at 8 o'clock at Slattery's in Midtown Manhattan. Should be a lot of fun. 5 rounds of trivia. 1 round will be only about the Summer of George episode, so study up on that episode, but the other rounds are fair game, all other 179 episodes. Should be a lot of fun. We'll include a link in our show notes if you'd like to RSVP. Vinny, one thing I wanted to bring up here before we get started, a lot of our listeners have sent us developing news that there will be a Clue movie remake. We are huge fans of the movie Clue from 1985, right?
Yes, we are.
We reference it maybe every episode of Seincast.
You're going to get some today.
But a lot of our listeners have been sending us articles that there's a Clue movie remake in the works. And it's funny how, on one hand, this is news, but I think this movie has been in development for a while now. Gore Verbinski was attached to remake this movie back in 2008. It was going to be this global international thriller, nothing to do with the original, creepy mansion format.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I've lost interest.
Yeah. Oh, it sounded like a horrible idea. And speaking of horrible ideas, do you remember Hasbro was planning to make all these board game movies? They did Battleship and Ouija.
I remember the Battleship poster vividly with Liam Neeson. But that's the only one I remember.
Well, they were going to do Monopoly, Clue, Candyland, Magic the Gathering. And I forgot about this. It's not a board game, but there was going to be a Stretch Armstrong movie at one point.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes.
With the technology nowadays.
Mm-hmm. But eventually this deal fell apart, and now I think it's, what company? Is it? Universal was going to make these movies. Clue was going to be one of them, but the deal ended. Now Fox is picking it up. So there is a possibility of a Clue remake in the works, Vinny. It could happen.
I kind of hate to hear that.
Especially with that premise. If they were doing a Clue, murder mystery in a mansion, would you be cool with that?
No, because it's such a perfect movie. I don't need to see it remade because I already have this perfect standalone movie with all these wonderful principal characters and actors that I feel like there's only one way I think you could remake it, as I think we've discussed. But my vote would be to not remake Clue.
But I remember in college we talked about there was like a core group of comedians that could remake it, and that would have been the Christopher Guest crowd.
Oh yeah,
you know, like Christopher Guest, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, Jane Lynch, even Michael McKean could come back.
that would be perfect and a genius idea, because you would be able to connect old to new. You know, the original movie to this remake, and have Mr. Green be the kind of pivot point that connects both movies.
Ed Begley Jr. could be in there. Like it could be a real solid ensemble movie. And I think
Jennifer Coolidge could be in there.
There you go.
She would kill.
Whatever, if they want to make it like this global thriller.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody listens anymore.
But I want to thank everyone for sending in the links for Clue the movie. Vinny, I know you're not game, but maybe a Clue podcast in the future? Maybe?
I'd be open to that.
Clue Minute podcast, like we break down the movie minute by minute?
Okay, sure.
Okay, you heard it here first. But thanks to everyone for sending in the article. Really appreciate it. Vinny, if listeners want to send us their thoughts on this week's episode, have a Seinfeld page, website they want plugged, or just want to say hello, how can they do that?
They can email us at seincast@gmail.com. They can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or now they can leave us a voicemail at Coco Bosco. And that's COCOA Bosco, the dark chocolate. 262-622-6726.
Right on. And if any of our listeners would like to support the show, you can leave us a rating and review on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. Also, you can donate to the show, which is a huge help with monthly hosting costs and getting a new show out each week. We have a link in our show notes if you'd like to donate. Thank you to the following for donating. We've got Francisco Franzen from Sweden. Joseph Purcell from Los Angeles. Katie Roth from Vancouver. Pitt Vadia from New York. Jose Vargas from La Habra, California. Levi Zwirling from New York. And he included a note here. I'm just worried about those poor Krakatoans.
Aw.
But that was nice. And a huge shout out to Robin Pearson from London, England, for his very generous donation. Much appreciated, Robin. Thanks a lot. Want to bring up a little plugola here. Thanks to Robin's donation. He has a website called the tvcritic.org where he reviews dozens of TV shows out there, anything from Game of Thrones to Mad Men, shows that are currently on, shows that ended years ago. It's an incredible website full of reviews and blogs that he's written over the past couple of years. So want to give him a shout out, the tvcritic.org. Everyone should check it out. And thanks again to all of our listeners for their donations. Vinny, what episode do we have this week?
Ooh, I'm excited to discuss this one. The 19th episode of Season 6, The Jimmy, written by Greg Cavett and Andy Robin, directed by Andy Ackerman, and originally aired March 16th, 1995.
Now you're excited for this episode. Why is that?
Just rewatching this episode, I fell in love all over again with the guest stars, the plot, the performances of all of our Fab Four. Everything about this episode I absolutely adored. So a lot of swooning going to be going on in this podcast.
What else is new? We swoon every week. Andy Robin should be a familiar name to some of our listeners. He wrote The Junior Mint and The Barber from season 4 and 5, respectively. When he wrote The Junior Mint, we noticed a big shift in the tone on Seinfeld. Things got kind of silly, a little out there, in a good way. And I think that's part of his talent, is Andy Robin is really good at blending the grounded reality of Seinfeld with these really wacky scenarios. He's really a master at it. And he has a new writing partner here, Greg Cavett. Andy and Greg remained on the show for the following, 3 seasons or so? Mm-hmm. You want to run through these episodes that they wrote from seasons 7, 8, and 9?
Absolutely. We got the hot tub, the caddy, the bottle deposit, the fatigues, the comeback, the nap, the slicer, the Frogger, and there were also 2 of the several writers that contributed to the Puerto Rican Day.
That's a solid lineup there of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited about those season 7 episodes, like the hot tub, the caddy. Very excited to get to those. Andy and Greg were also credited with creating and bringing back the character frequently, Mr. Wilhelm. We're going to meet him this episode.
The beloved Mr. Wilhelm, yes.
Yeah, this is George's boss, played by Richard Hurd. Love this actor. I was just checking out his IMDb credits. I know this is your role, Vinny, but
please take the reins.
Well, I saw that his biggest role really was on T.J. Hooker as Captain Sheridan. He had a lot of episodes. He was in 2 great 70s movies, 2 of my favorites, All the President's Men and The China Syndrome. But want to give a shout out to any lovers of bad movies. His first role was in Hercules in New York. This stars Arnold Strong. He's now known as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, the very same.
Yes. This movie is insane. It's fantastic. One of my favorite bad movies. It, in fact, features one of my favorite movie characters of all time, a little New Yorker called Pretzi. Who is
Pretzi.
this? Yeah, a weird little cartoony character that is just, I don't know, he's got this weird voice and this little cabbie hat, and he's one of those actors that looks like he's 70, but he's only 42. It's just, it's just weird. But yeah, shout out for Hercules in New York. I always thought that Mr. Wilhelm replaced Mr. Morgan. You know, like Mr. Morgan gets fired, then Wilhelm comes in. But no, Mr. Morgan is still working at the Yankees.
Yeah, we're going to see him a couple more times before the show's over.
I think it's because we'll get that board meeting and Mr. Morgan's not there. You got Wilhelm at the end.
Right. But he could have been on vacation, or, you know, getting a massage. You don't know what's going on.
I think Morgan is, I don't know if he's on George's level, but it seems like they're more, you know, equals. And then Wilhelm is closer to Steinbrenner.
Yes, that does seem that way.
There's a weird thing going on online, too, about the character Mr. Wilhelm. He's credited with a first name Matt Wilhelm.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where this originates from. I don't remember anyone ever mentioning his name on the show.
I could have... I'm not certain about this, but I could have sworn...
Swear.
I'm not swearing. I don't like swearing. I thought in the episode where he forgot to take his medicine and he was going crazy, that he's laying on the couch. He's like, "When's supper ready?" And his wife says, "I don't recall," but I thought she said, "Did you remember to take your medicine?" And I thought it was around then that she mentioned his first name, but I could be wrong.
That might be worth revisiting. You can't trust the scripts online to include the name, but yeah, we might have to go to the episode itself.
Or it could be one of those instances where his name is Matt in the script. It's just, it says Matt Wilhelm in one of the scripts, but we never hear it uttered. So it could be that too.
Well, if any of our listeners can confirm that his name is Matt, whether it's the script or a character says it on the show in a later episode, please let us know, because this has been bugging me for years. Another character, real-life figure we should talk about here is Mel Torme.
The Velvet Fog, yes.
What the hell is a Velvet Fog? Mel Torme is one of the, I'd say, few real-life characters to play themselves on Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. Who else would you throw in that camp?
Bette Midler. Mm-hmm. Keith Hernandez.
John Voight, briefly.
John Voight. What's her name?
Oh, Raquel Welch.
Yes, Raquel Welch. Thank you.
You did the, there's a lot of this in tap dancing.
Yes. Who else? Anybody else? Oh, well, we've had some baseball players appear. Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams,
Good point.
Paul O'Neill.
But Mel Torme not only has a cameo, he actually performs on Seinfeld, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Mel Torme's music and I think his career in general, just legendary. And, we recommend anyone just check out his wiki page if you want to find out more. But I have some little bits of trivia here we could maybe discuss. He wrote more than 250 songs. Some websites say more than 300 songs. He's probably best known for composing and co-writing the lyrics to the Christmas song. Chestnuts roasting on the open.
That's him?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Sung by Nat King Cole. He apparently wanted to be a jazz singer, but his manager felt that the way to make money was for him to become a crooner. So I think the kind of music you hear in this episode is more of Mel Torme's style, or at least how he was marketed.
In the vein of croon.
Mm-hmm. So for a long period through his career, he was singing, as he put it, mushy, sentimental songs. And we mentioned it earlier, what the hell is a velvet fog? And I made the mistake of Googling it, like Velvet Fog Dictionary. And of course I got Urban Dictionary, which was
oh my
big mistake. But apparently Mel Torme's publicist coined the term to describe his smooth style. But apparently Mel hated it. He hated the term Velvet Fog. In fact, hecklers would call him the Velvet Frog.
Oh, now that's terrible.
I guess it's because of the jowls, maybe, or the...
I'm sure he didn't have the jowls, his entire career.
That's true. But some TV trivia with Mel Torme, since he's on Seinfeld here. He was nominated for a Best Supporting Emmy in 1956 for a role in a Playhouse 90 episode called The Comedian.
Ah, fitting.
Mm-hmm. Other than Seinfeld, Torme made 9 guest appearances on another sitcom as himself called Night Court.
I remember this as a youngster, and I was so proud when he appeared on Seinfeld, Mel Torme, that I said, I know who the Velvet Fog is. And, because Harry, the judge from Night Court, was a huge fan of Mel Torme.
So you know this then?
Oh, yeah. This is old news for me.
Mm-hmm. I only remember John Larroquette and Bull.
Bull, right? Yeah. There's also Roz, Christine, and Harry. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good show that was.
Right on.
Anyway.
Okay.
On with the story.
Well, Harry Anderson, character on Night Court, loved Mel Torme. Apparently, Harry Anderson in real life loved Mel Torme too. In fact, at Mel Torme's funeral, he passed away in 1999. Harry gave the eulogy.
Aw, that's sweet.
Torme suffered a stroke just 17 months after this episode, The Jimmy, aired in 1996, I guess. And that ended his singing career. And just a few years later, he suffered another stroke, and that's when he passed away on June 5th, 1999. But quite a legend to have on Seinfeld. I'm glad they didn't do this all the time.
Yeah.
It would, be too silly. But I love, come on, Mel Torme's performance in this episode is classic.
Yeah, his inclusion as a guest star and then him portraying himself is just so perfectly executed that it can't be topped. So it is fitting that they only did this seldom. And
it's kind of like a duo. It's not just Mel Torme. While he's singing, you're getting those facial reactions from Michael Richards when he's playing Kramer with like a bruised lip. And it's reported that Michael cinched his Emmy win for season 6 based on this episode, based on his performance.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I was looking at the episodes we've talked about so far in season 6 and that we have yet to talk about. I can't think of an episode where he shines more. Love him or hate him.
I think this is his crowning moment of season 6. Maybe the gymnast when he has the stone. There's some good physical bits in there, but this one he's sparkling.
Absolutely, and it's pretty hard to talk about this episode and not mention controversy. Maybe about
minor potential
about Michael's performance and basically the joke that Greg and Andy wrote. They expected to be inundated with hate mail after featuring a character drooling and slurring and being mistaken for a mentally challenged person. But apparently, reportedly, the only response they received was from a mother of a mentally challenged boy who wrote to say that her kid loved the episode. So, who knows? But I'm really curious to hear what listeners think of this arc, especially those who are disabled or mentally challenged. I never really found Kramer to be the joke. When he's on the Novocaine or when he's been punched in the face. It's more the people around him, like Dean's Fry.
Yes.
For treating him different because I think they're uncomfortable or maybe they think they should act different. Then again, that last scene of the audience, they are laughing at Kramer's facial expressions. So I'm kind of torn. I don't know always where the joke is.
It's walking that fine line of comfort versus uncomfortable. I think Jerry sums it up perfectly when him and Elaine are discussing. He thinks you're mentally challenged. Well,
right.
They've been building this up since season 1 that Kramer is kind of slow. He's a pod. He's not normal. You know what I mean? So he is not like the others in a way.
Sure.
So that alone could be the reason why, Dean's Fry and these other guys see him differently. I don't know.
Right, but when he's mistaken for being mentally challenged, he seems very competent. There's nothing about Kramer when he's wearing the shoes,
right,
or he's slurring his speech where he can't do things. Like he's fully capable.
It's not really a mental handicap; it's more of a physical.
But what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't think the joke is that, oh, look how like silly or incompetent this person is because they're maybe mentally challenged.
Oh yeah,
it's more how people respond to interacting with a mentally challenged person. Like
I gotcha.
Like it's kind of cruel, but Dean's Fry, he's sort of patronizing. You know, he's like, "Oh, good for you. You're
right.
You're very independent."
I see what you're saying.
But that last scene with Kramer, you know, when he's making all those facial expressions, that's when I kind of feel like, okay, we're making fun of mentally challenged people. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But we'd love to hear from our listeners, to hear what they think about the Kramer arc this week. Vinny, are you ready to move on to this week's episode?
Oh, yeah.
Buying shoes is one of the great shopping challenges. Ever see someone put on a new pair of shoes? They turn into a zombie as soon as they start walking around the store. Yeah, these are pretty good. Then they have that little 1-foot-high mirror there. What is that about? So I can see what cats will think of my shoes? What is that angle? Bum passed out on the curb. Hey, what do you think of these? I just got them. I've seen them from that angle myself.
I find this to be an excellent stand-up, and I vividly remember going for shopping for shoes with my mom and having all these feelings. You know, walking like Frankenstein, and then the mirror. Why is it so low? So every beat of this stand-up, I completely relate to.
I love how annoyed he is too with something so stupid. What? So I can see what cats will think of my shoes. You know, it's. I don't know. It's just I like when Jerry gets irritated over the dumbest thing, but yeah, who can't help but feel like this? And this makes me like think of Dawn of the Dead, you know, from like 1978. You know, just zombies walking the mall.
He does a similar zombie impression when you wake up. It's like you're learning how to walk. It's like being born. You're learning how to walk for the first time. Remember?
And something about getting. Oh, this is totally different. It's like getting out of a chair. Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's at the bus.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, let's close up shop. First scene of the episode, we're at the New York Health Club. Jerry, Kramer, and George are getting dressed in the locker room after playing some basketball. And George is going on about this guy that was on his team. You know, he could dunk. What was his name again?
Jimmy.
Jimmy, right.
I don't know how you could forget it. He kept referring to himself in the third person. Jimmy's under the boards. Jimmy's in the open. Jimmy makes the shot.
Oh, boy. Kramer finishes shaving. And after he puts some of that aftershave on, you know, it burns. He's like, oh, yeah, there it is. There's something there with the butter shave, right? Like there's some connection.
Yeah. He's got no protection.
Well, there's sort of a long clip here, but Jimmy enters the locker room.
Hey, Jimmy! Great game.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy played pretty good.
Hey, you know, I felt like we had a synergy out there, you know, like we were really helping each other.
What do you got there?
These?
Yeah.
These are Jimmy's training shoes.
Yeah, I've seen these things. What are they? They make your legs stronger.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy couldn't jump at all before he got these. Jimmy was like you.
They're plyometric.
Plyometric?
Yeah, they isolate the muscles. The muscle has to grow or die.
Where you go?
Jimmy sells them.
You sell them?
Oh, yeah. But Jimmy's all out right now. Moving to Manhattan set Jimmy back a bit.
Hey, listen, let me give you my card. It's got my home number on it. I want to buy the first pair when the next shipment comes in.
All right.
All right, Jimmy, good talking to you. Huh? Here you go.
Jimmy will see you around.
Wait a minute, what day is today? Oh, Tuesday. Damn it, I shouldn't have worked out today. Mr. Wilhelm called a big meeting. Now I'm going to be sweating through the whole thing.
What, you took a shower?
It wouldn't take. 10 minutes from now, I'll be sweating all over again. I can feel it. I'm a human heat pump.
Yeah, well, you ought to take cold showers.
Cold showers? They're for psychotics.
Well, I take them. They give me a whoosh.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
All right.
So what, are you heading home?
No, got a dental appointment.
Oh, Tim Watley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to check up Thursday.
Oh, how do you like that?
You know, you really shouldn't brush 24 hours before seeing the dentist.
I think that's eat 24 hours before surgery.
Oh, no, you got to eat before surgery. You need your strength.
And there he is, the titular character, Jimmy. who is played by Anthony Stark, and I absolutely love this guy, this actor playing Jimmy. Some notable appearances: he was in License to Kill. He was in Return of the Killer Tomatoes, Nowhere to Run, and Repossessed.
Yeah, you mentioned two of my favorite roles of his. License to Kill. He was young in that too, man. He must have been like 25, I think, 26. But that movie Repossessed, very stupid spoof movie with Leslie Nielsen.
I saw the cover, yeah.
Linda Blair. I watch it every Halloween. Like I have my Halloween comedies I watch. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this was doing the whole Exorcist parody before Scary Movie 2.
And it's pretty cool they got Linda Blair to appear once again in a movie.
I was looking at his IMDb list, and I saw that he was one of the leads on the George Carlin show.
So I don't know that show.
Me
so
either.
I don't. Yeah.
And we love George Carlin. I mean, one of the greats. But I clicked on the show. It also featured Seinfeld Curb alum Mike Haggerty.
Oh, yes.
Of Rudy's.
Right.
And Mo Green from The Godfather, Alex Rocco.
Quite a murderer's row there.
Yeah, I really want to watch the show. But you're a big fan of Anthony Stark as Jimmy. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the Jimmy character? Is this like, last week I was going on and on about the doorman.
I'm loving the Jimmy right now. Everything about him. His whole free swinging attitude. I love it.
One of your favorite single shots, would you say?
Yes, hands down.
I'm kind of like with you with the doorman last week. I love Jimmy. I think he's great. I don't know if he's in my top 5 single shots.
Oh, really?
But he's great.
It's fun.
Still love him.
We did Jerry's impression of Jimmy earlier in the couple minutes ago, but you'll notice each act Jerry will do an impression of Jimmy.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun. But they get increasingly better as the show goes on.
The scene itself here is pretty long. We have a lot to talk about. George's behavior around Jimmy reminds me a lot of Tony.
Oh, he is like a schoolgirl. He quite admires Jimmy.
It's really interesting when what did Jimmy and Tony have in common? They both have an ego, I guess.
Yeah, and they're both kind of athletic, kind of handsome men that George looks up to. I think cool guy.
Yeah,
he's a cool guy.
Cool guy. Yes. I love when Jimmy is talking to George at first. He kind of slams the ball into George's stomach. Like he doesn't even care. And
that's after he kind of takes a jab at him. Jimmy couldn't jump at all before. Jimmy was like you. And you guys didn't get to see this because this is an audio medium, but we are introduced to the plyometric training shoes that Jimmy wears, which, they don't do it justice listening. You got to see them for yourself. And that also reminds me, do you recall your graduation present?
Let me think.
Hey, there they are. He's wearing. That's the shoe. He's got them on right now.
I put them on before we started recording, and dude, the plyometric training shoes are the worst shoe ever created.
I gotta say, your feet must be killing you by now, right?
Oh, they're one size too small, and walking around in them I equated it to like a velociraptor in the kitchen in Jurassic Park. Like you're sort of like you're on your tiptoes.
Yeah.
And you don't have the right balance. Very painful to wear. And it's sort of like wearing a platform shoe without the heel, pretty much.
Okay.
And they are horrible shoes. But I am so grateful that you gave me your own pair when I graduated college.
Well, I got a story.
Clown college.
My high school baseball coach had them in his office, and I saw them, and I said, well, what are those? He's like, oh, I'm throwing them out. And they were in the box. I don't even know if they were used, but they couldn't fit me because they were, a size 12 or 13?
They're 12, yeah.
12. And I said, I'll give them to my big friended friend here. Actually, I didn't know you at the time. I saved them, and then I gave them to you in college after I knew you.
Yeah, there you go. Well, if you ever need them back, I'd be happy to.
Trust me, they're yours.
I wore them to trivia once. My buddy Dave was like, hey, you should wear those training shoes to trivia. It'd be really funny. No one laughed. People thought I was the weirdest guy. Well, I'm pretty weird to begin with, but they were like, what's wrong with him? Why is he wearing those?
See, that I don't care for, because they should be in on the joke and appreciate what you did.
When you see someone walking in them, though, dude, it's really disturbing.
Really?
Well, they add about, 4 inches to my height. So I'm like 6'7" all of a sudden, like bouncing with each step. It's bizarre. But speaking of plyometric, I love this is the side of Kramer that's my favorite, where he's very knowledgeable.
Yes.
But he's kind of arrogant at the same time, where he's they're plyometric. And Jerry goes, plyometric? Yeah, they isolate the muscles. The muscle has to grow or die.
Or die.
It seems a little pompous there for some reason.
Yeah, he's in the know right now. Mm-hmm. And then another bit from this clip that I absolutely love is George getting upset because he finds out it's Tuesday, and he's going to be sweating through this meeting, and Jerry says, "What? You showered?" It didn't take. And you actually hear a really good laugh from the audience, and I think that's because everyone can relate to taking one of those showers, and then afterwards you go to work or wherever you're going, and you're still warm and you're still kind of sweating, you're uncomfortable, and they were able to kind of capture it in this little moment here.
Well said, man. That is exactly how I feel. This is one of my favorite just little jokes on Seinfeld. It didn't take. Just a great way to sum it up. And we get a few more contradictions in the Kramer bathing saga.
Ah, yes.
You know, sometimes he only takes baths. You know, he likes to take his showers, but he doesn't know what's long enough. He's in there for an hour. Mm-hmm. In this scene, we find out that he likes cold showers.
Which I buy. But I like to think of Kramer's shower taking like an EKG. You have your baths and your showers, and then it's all one tepid pool of your own filth.
Nice work.
Yeah.
All right, next scene, we are at Yankee Stadium. George and some coworkers are in a meeting led by Mr. Wilhelm. Turns out for the past few months, someone on the inside has been stealing equipment from the club. And let's run through it, Vinny. What's been stolen so far?
Bases, batting helmets, donuts. But 2 nights ago, they pulled a big one. Pitching machine, batting cage, the infield tarp, and all of Mr. Steinbrenner's vitamins.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now that is a killer trivia question.
I was going to say, have you actually put that on people?
No, that bottom 4, though, is pretty solid. The whole time, Wilhelm is, talking to the staff here. George is sweating like crazy since that shower didn't take. He's wiping beads of sweat from his forehead. He's loosening his collar, looking very guilty.
It's so perfectly shot that you can tell what Andy Ackerman was going for and what the writers were trying to convey here, which is kind of cool.
Oh, every 5 seconds there's a cutaway to George, just like, ugh.
So first he's sweating because of the shower that didn't take. Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind.
Yes. There's a little cameo. We always talk about Dec McKenzie and Norman Brenner, but Julia's stand-in is in this scene, right?
Peggy Lane O'Rourke is sitting on the right side of the table at the end. You kind of see her profile. And then next to her is actually one of the production interns, Kevin Lyons.
Oh, cool. Well, next scene, we are at Whatley's office, Tim Whatley himself. And I used the word saga earlier, Kramer's shower saga. There is a Tim Whatley saga. This character, every episode he's in, there's something new that we learn about him.
I feel like he gets more depraved with each encounter we get. Absolutely.
The first time we met him in the mom and pop store, seemed like a really nice guy, dentist, 77th Street. Then in the label maker, we found out, okay, he's being pretty forward with Elaine, really wants to go, straight downtown with him.
Right downtown.
Yes. But this time, I don't know, he's getting into the swinging lifestyle, let's put it.
I gotta say, as we're gonna see here, he kind of embodies what Jerry describes as a guy who partakes in the menage. Like he's like the representation of one of the orgy guys.
Unfortunately, we won't see Tim in this scene. He's coming up later, but it's setting the tone for this week's episode. Jerry arrives at the office. Whatley's running late. And when he sits down, he looks through some of the magazines on a table, Fortune, Entertainment Weekly, and Penthouse, January 1995 issue.
You have that one, don't you?
I don't know much about Penthouses, actually. And Jerry, like myself, pretty disgusted, looks over to see a patient sitting nearby reading another Penthouse, February 1995 issue.
The beauty in that is you see the little head tilt of the gentleman reading the February 1995 Penthouse, which is a nice little subtle joke. But what's even more interesting is the receptionist who checked Jerry in.
Oh, yeah?
That was Elin or Ellen Carter as the receptionist. This was her first acting credit. She's actually a Playboy Playmate in June 1994, which is kind of fitting, I think. What's even more interesting is she was in a 2013 movie called Vertical, and her character's name was Andy Ackerman.
Really?
It's bizarre. I checked it 3 times on IMDb because it didn't make sense to me.
And then you did some more research on... That's bizarre. Andy Ackerman. I want to find out more about this movie. It sounds like you're saying vertigo, but it's vertical.
Vertical, yeah.
Vertical. It's about like rock climbing, right?
Yeah, the cover looks like a rock face. And the tagline here, it's got all the major players on it. And the tagline says, "Sometimes the best place to find your true self is straight up."
Oh, interesting. Could be interpreted many ways, I guess. Yeah. That's cool that they got a playmate as this little bit role. That's really cool. I was just watching the episode and I casually noticed that on that January 1995 issue of Penthouse, Paula Jones was on the cover. Do you remember Paula Jones?
The name is familiar.
She sued Clinton for sexual harassment back in the 90s.
Ah, yes. I do remember now.
And then that February 1995 issue featured someone named Emma Nixon. And under that January 1995 issue, you've got the December 1994 issue featuring Brandy Lee Braxton and Heidi Fleiss. So we're really, really classing up the joint here.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you saw Dirty Magazine, Vinny? Do you have an experience you'd like to tell us?
Vaguely. I had an older brother, and
boy.
I seem to... Oh, you know what it was? It was... There were 2 bathrooms in our house upstairs, and... my parents had one, and then there was the one for the kids. Mm-hmm. And one day I was in there, and we had the little basket with magazines. And sure enough, I pull up. It's like the white background with Playboy, those iconic letters written across. And I took a peek.
Snuck a peek, huh?
Very good, yeah.
Oh, boy.
What about you?
I was returning from a class field trip in junior high. We were somewhere outside of Chicago at a McDonald's. And one of my classmates was like, hey, Matt, come here. And I sat next to him in this McDonald's booth, and he showed me 2 magazines. One was a Playboy featuring Jerry Halliwell, Ginger Spice.
Oh, yes.
And I fell in love with her on that day. I'm like, oh, my God, crazy about this woman. I love her whole free, what is it?
Free swinging attitude.
Free swinging attitude. And it was a great day, but he showed me another magazine. Again, he bought this from a newsstand. He was only 12 or 13. I don't know how he was able to buy these, but he showed me this one magazine called Genesis, and I had never seen such. Playboy is classy,
arty,
it's tasteful nudity. Mm-hmm. But this magazine Genesis, it put Penthouse to shame. It was so dirty. Mm-hmm. And this is my first exposure to it. I didn't know what I was looking at. I was like, what is that? what is that thing?
What's he doing to her?
Honestly, I wasn't scarred. I was just very confused. But
summer nights.
Indeed. Sorry, listeners. Next scene, we're at Jerry's apartment. Elaine gets off the phone with Mr. Pitt, I guess a little cameo of sorts, and wonders if Jerry wants to go see the Velvet Fog. It's Mel Torme's nickname.
What the hell's a Velvet Fog?
Turns out Mel Torme is performing at this AMCA benefit, Able Mentally Challenged Adults.
I can't watch a man sing a song.
What, are you crazy?
They get all emotional, they sway. It's embarrassing.
This feels like real life Jerry affecting the character.
Oh, yeah. Also worth noting, the AMCA is a fictitious organization they made up so as to not offend any real-life charitable organizations.
Right, of course. Well, Elaine wonders, who's going to be my date now? And she gets very excited because she realizes, hey, there's this guy at the health club that I really want to ask out. And she tries to describe him to Jerry to figure out his name. He's blonde, he's always on the exercise bike, really handsome with those...
I really don't pay attention to men's faces.
What, you can't find beauty in a man?
No, I find them repugnant and unappealing.
And this is when Kramer enters.
To wit.
I feel like you've used that before.
Oh yeah, I like that's a classic. I like using that one.
For sure. And Jerry's comments about men being repugnant and unappealing kind of reminds me of the whole good naked, bad naked.
Okay.
You know, like naked men, or naked women rather, work of art. Naked men, it's like a monkey.
It's utilitarian for getting around, like a Jeep.
Hairy. It's oof.
What struck me was I feel like it's much more common in today's society to admit beauty in a man versus then you had to kind of put it off and say, I don't find any men attractive. Whereas now I think it's kind of acceptable to say, oh, now that is a handsome man.
Well, who does Kramer think is an attractive man?
I'll tell you, George Will. He's got a clean look, all scrubbed and shampooed.
Oh, he's smart.
No, I don't find him all that bright.
Well, who do you think is an attractive man? Is there anyone out there that you're like, yes, I will have sex with that man?
Well, we recently watched Crazy Stupid Love, and Ryan Gosling is quite charming. I see what all the ladies see in him. But he's a very handsome fellow.
Yeah, he'll melt your face.
Actually, I think because I look up to him, I think The Rock's a good-looking guy.
Really? Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, he's all clean cut. He's, scrubbed and shampooed.
Interesting. I got to go with, it's sort of been my go-to since I was in high school. I was obsessed with him in college.
Ewan McGregor, man. I've always been a fan of Ewan McGregor. I think he is quite the handsome man. My wife just entered. Liz, who do you think is a very attractive man?
My hubby.
Oh, did you hear that?
Aww.
Vinny's not too bad either.
Thanks, Liz.
He's a good duo.
Oh, boy. But answer the question if you could. I'm just kidding.
Like a celebrity?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was kind of jonesing after Eddie Redmayne for a while.
Oh, yeah. Liz likes Eddie Redmayne.
Weird choice, but...
You know Eddie Redmayne, Vinny, from The Theory of Everything?
Yes.
And the new Harry Potter movie?
I heard about it.
Okay.
So I didn't realize who George Will was, and I always just assumed he wasn't a objectively attractive individual. Mm-hmm. But after Google, and this is the first time I actually Googled his picture, he kind of looks like what the older brother of Bill Gates would look like. Yes. I imagine.
More conservative looking guy. So it's like if you like guys with white hair and glasses, if you find them attractive, Phil Donahue, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love here when Kramer asks if Jerry has any cavities, Jerry pulls out a bag of Tootsie Roll Pops.
I noticed that. What the hell?
Well, it's twofold, right? You got the advertising on one hand, and I think it just reaffirms the fact, like, how could Jerry have a cavity? But here you go. He's got the sweet tooth.
So you got any cavities?
Just one.
Yeah?
Gotta go back. Oh, but get this. And Elaine, you will appreciate this.
What?
I'm sitting in Tim Watley's waiting room. He's got a penthouse right out on the table.
Penthouse?
Yeah, what is that? I mean, isn't that sick? I mean, I'd be embarrassed to have that in my apartment.
So what's wrong with that?
He's a doctor. I mean, it's supposed to be like a sterile environment.
So did you take a look?
Of course. But that's got nothing to do with it.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to my appointment on Thursday. I might even get there a few minutes early.
Hey, listen. Do either of you guys know that blonde guy who's always on the exocycle at the health club? He's just really handsome.
I wouldn't know.
Just admitting a man is handsome doesn't necessarily make you a homosexual.
It doesn't help.
And here's another ongoing saga. George's fear of maybe being a homosexual. He's not sure.
We saw that previously in The Note, right? I
mean, that's the classic one, right? With, yes. I think It Moved, but probably best known for the outing.
Oh, that's right. Plenty of examples here.
I think one of the earliest ones is in The Ex-Girlfriend. Remember when George and Jerry are picking up Elaine, and George gets out to make her sit in the middle, and she's like, oh, you're afraid to sit next to a man, huh? You're a little homophobic.
Is it that obvious?
Yes.
You're right. Mm-hmm. I do really like George's response here, though. Just admitting a man is handsome doesn't necessarily make you a homosexual. It doesn't help. Yeah. And I feel like with George Costanza's track record, he needs all the help he can get. Yeah. So I kind of get why he's exhibiting some homophobic tendencies.
He is so terrified, of like having any feelings towards a man. It's insane.
I also really like in the clip, Jerry talks about how he'd be embarrassed to have that in his house. And he's like, it's a sterile environment. He's going on, and he's on his soapbox. And then Kramer just confronts him directly. So did you take a peek?
Of course.
Yeah. No hesitation. He owns it. I like that a lot.
Yes, that seems like a typical man, like talking about values and then being like, yeah, but of course I snuck a peek. And I love Kramer's enthusiasm. I'm looking forward to my appointment on Thursday. Might even get there a few minutes early.
Unabashed he is.
Yeah. So Elaine heads out, and George is very excited to announce that he cut a deal with Jimmy to import a case of those plyometric shoes. Apparently, there's a lot of money to be made since Jimmy has a proven sales method.
Yeah? What's that?
He jumps.
Jimmy's got a backer. Jimmy's jumping for dollars. Jimmy and George are going to get rich.
Will you stop with the Jimmies?
Now, it's funny you tell me to stop with the Jimmies. There was actually a little bit of deleted dialogue.
Sounds like a really bad song lyric. You telling me to stop with the Jimmy? I don't know.
You gotta stop with the Jimmies. Originally, Jerry was going to go on and say, Jerry doesn't want to stop. Jerry loves to say Jimmy, almost as much as Jimmy does.
When I heard about that deleted dialogue, the scene feels clipped, especially when he says, Jimmy's got a backer. It feels like they cut something there, in the audio. So, yeah, he must have kept going and going.
Yeah, because that deleted line, though, you know how they say comedy, you have to do it in threes? Because he says Jerry doesn't want to stop. Jerry loves to say Jimmy. He should have had another Jerry line. So I get why they cut it, but I also like that.
It reminds me of Tony again. Tony, hey.
Hunky, yeah.
Like Jerry mocking this guy. But we get out of the scene here when Kramer eats some of the Kung Pao chicken. Or as he puts it, Kung Pow! I can't do it.
No, that's pretty good.
But we cut over to the New York Health Club. Elena's stretching in the exercise room right in front of this guy she has the hots for. And she's using her mind, to get him to look at her.
Hey, a smile. We made contact.
And does this remind you of another Elaine Health Club scene?
Oh, and she looks amazing in this leotard.
Very similar, I feel, yeah.
Yep. Do you feel, though, maybe it's because it's 2016, but these Health Club sets, they really date the show. Both the attire and then kind of the equipment, it really looks like this dates the show a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a little early 90s. But Elaine is going to do one more stretch, and then she'll talk to the guy, but he leaves before she realizes she's left there all alone with a familiar face watching from the Stairmaster.
Jimmy is pretty sweet on you.
He is?
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's been watching you. You're just Jimmy's type.
Oh, really?
Jimmy's new in town. Jimmy doesn't really know anyone.
Oh, well, I'd like to get to know.
Jimmy would like to get to know you.
You think Jimmy likes Mel Torme?
Jimmy loves the velvet fog.
I find this clip funny for two reasons. I mean, love Jimmy and how he's trying to... He is putting the moves on Elaine, as we're seeing. But if you look at it from Elaine's point of view and her kind of track record with dating and how she can't find a man or keep a job, she kind of gets duped into this date with Jimmy, but she perceives what she wants to, and she's got her eyes on who we're going to learn is Hank, right?
Yes.
But her, I guess, ego, am I full of crap right here?
Well, it always baffled me how Elaine doesn't realize what's happening here, because
that's what I'm saying.
It's very bizarre. If, in fact, this guy in the Stairmaster is talking about that man over there, the fact that he keeps saying Jimmy, one, and two, knows so much about him and his feelings towards Elaine.
Yeah.
Like, those seem like flags. Like, what are you talking about?
But that's it's funny that Elaine doesn't pick up on that.
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe Jimmy doesn't know pronouns.
It's true. I guess we can both agree it's Elaine's own fault for getting into this mess.
Yeah. But they actually, as we'll see later on, they actually had a nice little thing once they figured out they were on the same page.
I want to talk about that later because Jimmy is not a bad-looking guy.
Not at all.
But he is the fact that he always calls himself Jimmy is very weird, but he says some things later that seem like huge red flags that I want to talk about. But
okay.
Let's move over to Tim Watley's office here. There's some stage direction here from the script. Do you want to read this real quick? It really sets the mood.
Oh yeah. Can we get some cue some saxophone music? Kramer sits in an examination chair, waiting, reading Penthouse. Tim walks in with Cheryl, his beautiful blonde assistant. Tim is casually dressed in a breezy, open-collared shirt and sports an earring.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's end the music. Tim is in this new, as we brought up earlier, like swinging, menage phase of his life. Yeah. Seems to be a little more laid back, It's not super obvious here. It's maybe more obvious when Jerry's there, but
he shaved his beard and his hair is kind of grown out, and it's everything about him screams, he's up to something.
The shirt kind of reminds me of the one Jerry wore in The Boyfriend. And he's like, Elaine, what do you think of this shirt?
Oh, it is very loud.
It's like silk or polyester, I don't know, and it's open chest. Kramer tells Watley, I occupied myself in the waiting room earlier with a little reading material. And before the Novocaine is administered, Kramer gets that little suction device stuck on his tongue.
You remember Mr. Thirsty. He throws his head back into the chair.
And I don't know if I ever quoted this in college, but I love that line. You remember Mr. Thirsty.
That is a real good one.
Why doesn't he just use his hands? Like, just pull it. Is he tied down? Oh, maybe he's tied down.
Perhaps. Doesn't George ask the same question of the woman in the wheelchair?
What's that?
Why doesn't she just use her hands?
For what?
When she's going down the incline and she couldn't stop.
Oh, I don't remember that. No.
Yeah. It's when they're in like the little food court.
Oh.
And he's like, what I don't get is why she just didn't use her hands. She's probably one of those stuck-up handicapped women.
Next scene, we are at the New York Health Club again. Kramer is trying out his new pair of plyometrics. Just looks ridiculous, but he looks fit. You know what I mean? He can pull it off better than I can.
Yeah.
And the clip here, it's two separate scenes separated by an act break, but we're going to kind of squeeze them together here.
So what did Tim say?
Well, he said I gotta cut out the Skittles.
Looks like he gave you some Novocaine.
Oh, I'm loaded.
So what about the Penthouse? Did you ask him?
Well, he said that, helps his patients relax a little bit. And he's got a new policy, adults only.
Adults only?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on over there?
Well, it's great. No kids allowed. You don't have to watch your language.
You find the need to use a lot of obscenities at the dentist?
When they pull that needle out, I let the expletives fly.
Hey, come on, watch it. You're drooling all over the floor. How much Novocaine did that guy give you?
I can't hold the water.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy's ready. Jimmy's got some new moves.
Go, Jimmy.
Check Jimmy out.
Oh, Jimmy's down!
It's pretty bad, man. I think your boy's gonna be in traction.
Jimmy might have a compound fracture. Jimmy's going into shock. Why don't you more careful with your drool?
Hey, I'm doing the best I can.
Why are you taking it so personally?
Because if he can't jump, there goes my sneaker business.
I'm sorry.
Jimmy's gonna get you, Kramer. Jimmy holds grudges. Let Jimmy go.
I can't feel anything.
In that first portion of the clip, there was some deleted dialogue, which is really interesting. I didn't know about. But Kramer asked Jerry to slap him in the mouth to prove that he couldn't feel anything. This was after he had gotten the Novocaine shot. So Jerry hits him twice. The second time, Kramer slams into the locker, and Kramer says, I can't feel a thing. This stuff is the greatest. Which I wonder if they shot that, or was that just in the script? Because that would have been it would have been cool to kind of see Jerry engage with Michael in that physical comedy.
And Jerry would be laughing the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like that feeling as a kid, getting your mouth all numb from the dentist?
I got news for you, buddy. I've never had Novocaine at the dentist.
What? What's that all
Anytime
about?
I've had to get a filling, I've always gone without anything. Because I think when I was younger, I had the fear of the needle. So I was like, no, I'm good. And I could feel it, and it hurt, but it wasn't terrible. But I've never had a Novocaine shot.
So you prefer the drilling over a needle?
If I had to get one again, then I would probably do Novocaine. But I haven't, as a kid, whenever I had a cavity, never had a shot.
So ignorance is bliss. I had no idea as a kid that there was a needle. I never saw a needle. I had a few cavities. Never saw a needle. Didn't know what they were doing. All I felt was a pinch, like a really deep pinch. I'm like, oh, that's really uncomfortable.
He likes the pinch.
Dentists would do a little swirl.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no idea what was going on. I just loved the feeling of that Novocaine, and I had the gas too. I was just sailing.
I haven't had that either. I want that. I want to know what that feels like.
It's good stuff.
But I think the most memorable quote from that clip is Kramer's, "When they pull the needle out, I let the expletives fly."
Yes.
It's gold, baby.
My favorite lines from the scene are all from Jimmy after he falls. And he does the first one, Jimmy's down.
Yeah.
And then later, Jimmy won't forget you, Kramer. Jimmy holds grudges. Let Jimmy go.
He does have a volatile temper, doesn't he?
Gets very angry. That, I think, is one of the flags why Elaine should stay away from him.
True, but it's passion.
Yes.
Hey, but here's something. The paramedic who says, your boy's going to be in traction. Jimmy might have a compound fracture.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's going into shock. That's a great one.
The paramedic's appropriately named Jimmy Bridges.
I did see in the trivia section on the DVDs that his younger brother Todd played Willis of What You Talking About, Willis on Different Strokes.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
It's a popular acting family there.
We're talking about a lot of different TV shows this week. I like that. Mm-hmm. Next scene, we are on the street. Here, Kramer's walking in his plyometrics, bouncing.
They make notice, though, to kind of give choice close-ups of the shoes just to reinforce that he's wearing these things on the street in public.
And you can tell it's difficult to walk. I think Michael kind of gave up walking on his tiptoes. He's just doing flat, his heels. It's really awkward. And he tries to hail a cab, but this, distinguished-looking gentleman gets it first. And before he gets in, he notices Kramer's speech, the slurred voice. He got it, and shoes. And he makes this assumption that this guy must be mentally challenged. And now it's a totally different scenario. He offers Kramer the cab instead. He claims, oh, you were here first. And they go back and forth until Kramer says, hey, we share.
Yes, let's. That's a great idea.
It's so patronizing, right? Anyways, inside the cab, the man introduces himself as Arnold Deansfry. And again, really patronizing to Kramer, asking, what's your name? Are you heading home?
You are really independent. Arnold Deansfry is played by Robert Cadams. He's also in the finale.
Which blows my mind. Where is he in that finale?
I think he's in just a quick snippet, like a 2-second shot of him leaving his house to go either testify or just go to the court, if I recall.
I'm going to argue they had a flashback or a cut to this episode, maybe, at the banquet.
Well, I could be. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Mr. Pitt leaving because he puts his hat on and glasses. So I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not sure. Maybe he's in the background because even Babs.
I forgot.
Babs is there. She never really gets featured, so maybe he's in the background.
Okay, but Robert Cadams was also in Mulholland Drive, Broadcast News, and hey, Down with Love with your homeboy.
Oh, Ewan McGregor. My God, love that name, Arnold Deansfry.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, the 3 years I've been doing Seinfeld trivia, I've never once used his image for our ID round.
Well, I think we know what we're going to see on the Summer of George.
We won't actually. I've already set that.
Damn!
But next time I do Seinfeld trivia, we'll try to include Arnold Deansfry. Great name. Let's get over to a sports store here, shoe store. Kind of looks like a Foot Locker or something.
Given the referee uniforms, I would imagine it's a Foot Locker.
Right. George has to demonstrate the plyometrics to retailers since Jimmy is in the hospital. And he attempts a few jumps, he barely gets off the ground, and he just, kind of gives up as the salesmen walk away.
They're not having it.
No.
And that is not a proven sales record of jumping.
Do you think Jason is really trying to jump high? Because he's making it, 4 inches off the ground.
Well, I noticed certain jumps, he kind of splits he angles his legs out, so he jumps lower. But he's still giving it his oomph, because you hear the with each jump.
And most of the employees there are much taller than George. So when he jumps, he's not even going above their hairline.
One of those, nicely done. One of those gentlemen is Norman Brenner, Kramer's stand-in.
Next scene, we are at Jerry's apartment. Kramer's voice has returned to normal, and he's thrilled to tell Jerry and Elaine that he's been invited as a guest of honor to the AMCA event run by this Arnold Deans Fry. In fact, Kramer is sitting at the head table with Mr. Mel Torme. And now Kramer thinks, I've been invited because I really hit it off with Deans Fry. But Elaine and Jerry put together, nope, it's the training shoes, it's the voice, it's the drooling. Deans Fry thinks Kramer is mentally challenged.
Well,
But Vinny, what happens when Kramer shows up and everyone will see that he's not mentally challenged?
Not necessarily, because Elaine seems horrified at the prospect of Kramer being kind of found out. She covers her hands over her face, and just this situation that he's kind of put himself in.
Yeah, Elaine is someone that people who object to the storyline could at least identify with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there was a really cool deleted scene at the end of this conversation here. Did you watch this?
I didn't watch, I read.
Okay.
But explain, please.
Well, I've got the audio here. I'll just let that run. Kramer runs to his place to grab a Penthouse magazine. Keep in mind, this is after his recent appointment with Tim and Cheryl.
Hey, you're not going to believe who's in this penthouse.
Yeah, who's she?
That's Cheryl. I think that's Tim Watley's new hygienist.
Well, it says her name's Tiffany.
They call everyone Tiffany in here.
Let me take a look.
All right.
Can't even see her face in here.
Are you sure this is her?
Well, if you hold it like this, see, it kind of looks like her, huh? Look at it.
Could I have gotten myself mixed up with a swinging dentist?
That is really cool. When we get to the final scene with Cheryl, I'll go over her bio more in depth. But when casting for the Jimmy, the producer specifically asked for actresses with nude modeling experience. And that was probably going to play into this deleted scene that we just heard.
Yeah, this deleted scene kind of adds the idea that not only are the characters played by, playmates or nude models, but in the Seinfeld universe, they are playmates or nude models, which, I don't know, adds a whole new layer to it. I just want to know how Tim recruited all of these models.
And then, we're talking about the evolution of Watley's character. Then we see in sort of the Christmas-themed episodes. Mm-hmm. But Elaine's like, this place is like Studio 54 with a menorah.
Oh,
Happy Hanukkah, Tiffany. He's going around kissing everybody.
And Tiffany.
Holy crap.
There's another connection.
Reveal.
Oh, my God. Well, let's get over to Watley's office so we can talk about another deleted scene. The scene normally would open up with Watley saying, Cheryl, would you ready the nitrous oxide? Instead, it opens with Jerry in the chair, and Watley is looking at x-rays, and Cheryl comes in.
Well, have you ever met Cheryl?
I don't think so.
Hi.
She's done some modeling.
You don't say.
Tim, don't listen to him.
So what'll it be? Gas or Novocaine?
Gas.
Gas. Good choice. Cheryl, would you ready the nitrous oxide, please?
Where's Jennifer today?
Oh, she's over at Dr. Sussman's office. Yeah, we find it fun to swap now and then.
You just take some deep breaths and try to relax.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the scene. There's some visual cues there, like after Cheryl or Tiffany, snaps her glove, Jerry checks out her figure, trying to see if she's the girl from the magazine.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish they had included, the tail end of that other scene and the start of this scene. It just adds a lot more to this Jerry arc.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And how much do you love, when Whatley's like, we find it fun to swap now and then he, activates the chair, and as Jerry's leaning back, he's just looking.
Well, because Tim is staring intently at Cheryl, with a lustful eye, and Jerry's kind of on to something's going on here. Mm-hmm. We should also note that we heard Tim Whatley taking a hit of the gas before, is the nitrous oxide ready? He takes the hit and then he gives it to Jerry, which got a nice laugh, and that actually came from Bryan Cranston. He came up with that.
Bryan Cranston, dude, is just brilliant. He's a fantastic actor. He's funny. He contributes.
Yeah.
He's right.
He seems like he's having fun playing this part. He was, it was a pleasure for him to be on this show.
Absolutely. I wonder with a lot of guest stars if you sort of fit into your role and you just do what's on the page. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The fact that he can sneak a joke in there is just, I don't know, hats off,
And then I'd also like to talk about the lovely Cheryl, who's played by Allison Armitage. She was in Jerry Maguire, Acapulco Heat, Raw Deal, and she was Playmate of the Month, October 1990.
There you go.
So there you go. That's the second Playmate who was cast. I wonder if the receptionist also read for the part of Cheryl, but they ended up using her since Allison won the role of Cheryl.
Maybe.
If they used this Elin or Ellen for the receptionist.
We're mentioning Playboy a little bit here. Jerry was actually featured on the cover of a Playboy.
I do recall that. Yeah, there's a phone booth, and he's got a Letterman jacket on, right?
Yeah, all the girls are in the phone booth. Mm-hmm. He might actually be in it with them, on the phone. But I have a PDF of that issue because I was dying to read the Jerry interview inside. Because, as most guys do, they buy Playboys for the articles.
Did you find out, Lois?
Well, I haven't read it yet, actually. It's just sitting on my computer here. I would love to get those pages, exported from the PDF, and maybe I could post them on Facebook and Twitter, and our listeners could read them. This is circa, I think it's 1993. Mm-hmm. So this is season 4 Jerry, before the show really took off.
Right. Cool.
But let's cut to a later scene here when Jerry wakes up from the gas. He's kind of out of it. You want to describe what he sees?
Well, it's very blurry, but he perceives a Tim Whatley buttoning back up his vibrant shirt, and then he also sees Cheryl putting back together her nurse's outfit.
Yeah, Tim's buttoning, Cheryl's tightening the belt.
You should also take notice when you're watching this scene, though. Look at Jerry's shirt, and it is clearly untucked and kind of ruffled. And I actually went back and rewound it to see, because he describes in a later scene, I think it was untucked. In the previous scene of them in the office, it looks not necessarily tucked in, but it's more pristine. It's a nice flat looking appearance, but it definitely looks ruffled in the second take, or the second part of the scene.
So the jury's still out, but he might have been tucked. I think I tucked.
We can't say for sure.
Okay. Next scene, we are at Yankee Stadium. George is eating some of his Kung Pao chicken at his desk, and he... I love this. Just lets out that big woo!
Oh, that, and then I love that. Yeah, he bangs on the table aggressively, but then the phone rings, and he goes, "Oh, man!" right into the phone. Suppose wholesalers? Yeah.
It always bothered me that he takes a swig of Diet Coke because it's so spicy. That to me seems like it would be the worst thing to drink. All that carbonation,
Yeah, okay. It's not helping.
Really grasping at straws here. As you mentioned, Vinny, Sports Wholesalers is on the line, and George starts talking about selling him these shoes, beautiful athletic gear. And this is just as Mr. Wilhelm enters the office, already very suspicious of George. Now he hears him talking about selling equipment on the phone. George hangs up, and he starts patting the sweat on his face. Finally gets confronted about the missing equipment. Wilhelm totally thinks he's lying. Sweating bullets.
It's the Kung Pao. George likes his chicken spicy. And that's the first utterance of George in the third person, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I keep drawing comparisons to Tony, but it's like step off, or turning his hat on backwards. He's modeling himself after someone he admires.
Yeah, both guys have signature catchphrases in a way, yeah.
But next scene, we're at Monk's, and this is a pretty long scene here, but Jerry and Elaine are talking about his experience at Watley's.
Maybe you were still under the gas. Maybe you were hallucinating you were coming out of the gas, but you were still under the gas.
I don't think so. I think they were getting dressed. And not only that, my shirt was out.
Your shirt was out?
I think so.
Well, what kind of shirt was it?
Like a tennis shirt.
Oh, you don't tuck those in.
Sometimes I tuck them, sometimes I don't.
Well, were you tucked?
I think I was tucked.
All right, well, say you were. I mean, what do you think could have happened?
I don't know. But I was spitting out and rinsing like there was no tomorrow. Is this guy a dentist or Caligula?
What are you getting?
I don't think I'm hungry.
Okay. So you were violated by two people while you were under the gas. So what? You're single.
I'm damaged goods now.
Join the club.
Hey, by the way, did you ever call that guy from the health club?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy?
Yeah.
Can't believe you're going out with him.
Why?
I don't know, he's so strange.
How so?
Didn't you ever notice he always refers to himself in the third person? Jimmy can dunk, Jimmy's new in town. Jimmy will see you later.
No, wait a minute. That's not him. That's the guy who gave me Jimmy's number.
That's Jimmy. That's the way he talks.
I'm gonna go see Mel Torme with him.
Jimmy's gonna put the moves on Elaine.
What's very striking in this scene is Elaine. She has no sympathy for Jerry and his suspicions about what happened in the dentist's office. She kind of just sloughs him aside. Okay, so you were violated by two people while you're under the gas. So what? You're single. This is like an example of a turning point where we're seeing, sweet Elaine is kind of shifting toward the Elaine we're going to see in seasons 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, more bitter. She doesn't care about her friend being violated. It's just like, whatever. At least you're getting some. Yeah, it's a great joke. And of course, we get Elaine realizing Jimmy is the guy she's been talking to. And I love that last line. Jimmy's going to put the moves on Elaine.
Yeah, there's the third installment of the Jerry impersonations. That one's my favorite.
That's Jimmy. Going back to the whole Watley issue, Elaine did date him at one point. You think this would be a good chance for Jerry to be like, hey, Elaine, did Watley ever show signs of being, he is depraved?
He actually did. In some cut dialogue, Elaine said that Watley had a 3/4 sleeve silk robe.
So is that kind of factors into the menage, right? Like you have to get a robe and weird lighting.
That's right. Yeah. Weird oils. I feel like she could have elaborated on that. Like a 3/4 sleeve silk robe doesn't really, it's not a definite for being a weirdo orgy guy.
We both have a 3/4 sleeve robe, right?
Yeah, you're right. That kimono you wear?
Yeah. Well, George arrives and he tells the two that he's been accused of stealing the equipment at Yankee Stadium, and now he has to talk to Steinbrenner. All of this because he was sweating from the Kung Pao, which Jerry doesn't get. All that spicy chicken.
George likes spicy chicken.
What's that?
I like spicy chicken.
No, you said George likes spicy chicken.
No, I didn't.
No, yes, he did. You said George likes spicy chicken. You're turning into Jimmy.
George is getting upset!
This is like George's catchphrase, wouldn't you say?
It became so for the rest of the series, but this is where this is where he coined the phrase.
Yes, George is getting upset.
Pardon my French.
Well, next scene, we are at the New York Health Club. Jimmy's got his crutches as Elaine tries to tell him that, there's been this misunderstanding about her asking him out.
Jimmy doesn't like misunderstandings. Jimmy and misunderstandings kind of clash.
All right, so in addition to the anger issues, those outbursts, This seems like a red flag. Is Jimmy sending her like a signal? Like it's a mild threat?
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
Oh God.
You're seeing one?
It seems like something out of like a Lifetime movie. Like the really like abusive boyfriend, like I don't like
Fear.
misunderstandings. And Jimmy kind of clash. Yeah,
I guess so. I see what you're saying. But what I took away from this little scene here was he doesn't even look Elaine in the eye. He's like, Jimmy and misunderstandings kind of clash, which was more telling to me.
Okay, so maybe he's just being, just more honest. He's not sending a threat Elaine's way, right?
Yeah, he's a bit of he's not a psychopath.
He's not the murderer. Well, as Elaine tries to explain the date, what she meant to say, Jimmy notices the guy that she likes helping another man on an exercise device.
Hey, look, Hank's got a new boyfriend. Jimmy's not threatened by Hank's sexuality. Jimmy's happy for Hank.
Well, Elaine once tried to convert one, but Elaine's not going to go through that again.
Wonderful callback to the beard, which we saw a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm. When we were quoting Jimmy last week, just off mic, this is one we really liked. Jimmy's not threatened by Hank's sexuality. Jimmy's happy for Hank.
Jimmy's progressive. He's, he's not ignorant in this regard. So
if I was totally off on the whole, threat of, Jimmy doesn't like misunderstandings. It sounds like Jimmy, despite the whole third person thing, he's a very open-minded, accepting individual. And that's probably what attracts Elaine.
Right.
So there you go. Next scene, we are at the AMCA event here. We're kind of in the lobby. Kramer and Elaine are inside in line. And Kramer goes off to find some candy. There's a nice running theme this episode of candy. When Elaine's date, Jimmy, arrives with his crutches.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, Elaine.
Elaine got a new dress.
Jimmy likes it.
There's no candy around here. Hey, Jimmy.
Well, look who's here. Ooh. That's the guy who sidelined Jimmy.
What?
That's the guy who took the bread out of Jimmy's mouth. Jimmy's out of work because of you.
Wait. Jimmy wants a piece of Kramer. Come on now. Get your hands off, Jimmy. Jimmy's gonna get you, Kramer. Hands off, Jimmy. Don't touch Jimmy. Let go, Jimmy. Yeah. My lips swollen?
Man, I feel like every scene, these guys are knocking it out of the park. Michael in particular.
And this might be the best Jimmy line of the episode. Jimmy's gonna get you, Kramer. Hands off Jimmy.
Don't touch Jimmy. and then the camera pans to Michael and Elaine, and you hear in the background, "Let go of Jimmy," which I never picked up on before.
And it's great leading up to this moment because Kramer got the Novocaine. That's why Dean's Fry thinks he's mentally challenged. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of wondering, all right, he can't get the Novocaine. How is he possibly going to sound like he's mentally challenged, have that same voice? And as soon as he gets punched and he says, "Oh, is my lip swollen?" The audience, dude, they're over the moon. They're like, yes.
You don't see it coming. And it's effortlessly woven this script and plot.
Right. This isn't Mr. Pitt getting ink on his lip.
Yeah, exactly.
Stocks will rise high. Yes. This seems somewhat more believable because later on we'll see Kramer sitting at the head table between Arnold Dean's Fry and Mel Torme. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about, I've been living on, my own for some time now. And what's Mel's response?
I think that's the tops.
He's very nice. Well, next scene, we're at Yankee Stadium. George arrives to see Steinbrenner about pilfering the equipment. And George admits, he would never do anything like that. But since he's using the name George would never do anything like that. Steinbrenner is totally confused. He isn't sure which George they're talking about.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
And after that line, George is like, what's that?
Yeah. That's like a under the radar phrase, but he says that, and other characters do as well in the series. Mm-hmm. What's that?
So Steinbrenner just decides, let me talk about what I have for lunch here. What does he have?
Oh, ham and cheese again. And she forgot the fancy mustard. I told her I like that fancy mustard. You can put that fancy mustard on a shoe and it would taste pretty good to me. Oh, but she made up for it with cupcake, though. Hey, look at this. You know I got a new system for eating these things? I used to peel off the chocolate. Now I turn it upside down. I eat the cake first. Save the frost for the end. It's almost like a dessert.
Going a mile a minute.
That's really hard to do.
I like that. That's very like muffin tops ish.
Oh yeah.
You know, saving the top for later. Something my friend does. You know her, Ariel. When we have dessert for having cupcakes, she will break the bottom off and she'll put it on top, and it'll become like a cupcake sandwich.
I remember her doing that when we had the little barbecue.
Frosting
That's
in the
pretty
middle.
Cool.
Yeah. We're back at the AMCA event, and we're going to save the audio here, the song, Mel Torme singing When You're Smiling, for the end. So stay till the end of the podcast to hear it in full. But
one other example I thought, sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
But when Kramer got punched before Kramer got punched, you saw he was very like put together, spoke well. His tie was perfectly done. After he got punched in the mouth, his tie was messed up. So they pulled his tie and ruffled his collar. So it made him look even more unkempt and more, I guess,
incompetent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So take notice.
Oh, interesting. Again, the song will be at the end of the episode, but this is that, I don't know, beloved, infamous scene. I don't know how you want to classify it. Maybe I'm making too big a deal out of this, but Mel Torme sings When You're Smiling, and Kramer is just, making those faces and smiling and rocking his head, and the audience is just going wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a 2-minute scene, I want to say.
Yeah.
And they're just howling the whole time.
I gotta say though, when it fades to black and you get that last line, the whole world smiles with you, I got chills. So for me, it was like a touching moment to see Michael and this renowned singer kind of come together. But yeah.
But you never felt uncomfortable, right? In this last scene?
I didn't, but I can see others feeling so.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like kind of pulled in two different directions here. I love the ending, but I feel bad at the same time. Interesting enough, this character of Mel Torme, it was originally written for Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett.
Which would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tony Bennett turned it down or if it was just a scheduling issue. But I think Mel Torme just brings a lot of warmth to this scene.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way of putting it. Yep.
If you're torn over the content, I don't know. There's something about Mel and Michael, putting them together. It's just really, really wonderful stuff here.
I feel like among the crooners, he was like, you had Dean Martin, you had Frank Sinatra. Mel Torme seemed to not get his due, or wasn't. Am I right? I don't know
that much. I don't know that much about him other than what I talked about earlier. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like he wanted to be more of a jazz singer than a crooner,
right?
And he kind of got pushed, I think, by his publicist, by his managers,
to
do a certain type of music he wasn't really game for. But definitely a legend, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cut over to the last scene of the episode here. We are on the sidewalk, and Kramer exits a newsstand or a little bodega with the latest Penthouse, March 1995, featuring Lynn Turner. Did you notice the candy bar that Jerry is impatiently waiting for?
Hey, where's my Mr. Good bar?
Yeah. Now that is a trivia question. I listed like 10 different candy bars on Seinfeld, and you have to pick out the one that was never mentioned.
Okay.
And I usually go with like Three Musketeers. But every time I put Mr. Goodbar on there, people say, oh, that was never mentioned on Seinfeld.
Oh.
And it's because it's buried here in the epilogue.
I would also argue maybe this scene doesn't appear in syndication, perhaps. And it's so, snuck in there that, yeah, you're right.
And I messed up. It wasn't Three Musketeers.
Bite-sized Three Musketeers.
It was Milky Way.
Yeah, that's not there.
Yeah, Milky Way is never mentioned. But anyways, Kramer, goes straight into the Penthouse forum. And what does he read here, Vinny?
Dear Penthouse, I'd like to tell you about an experience I recently had. As an avid reader, I've always wondered if the letters are true. I'm a dentist, and one afternoon my hygienist and I decided to have a little fun with one of our patients. Of course, none of our patients had any idea exactly what we were up to. I was still wondering whether or not the tools I could use...
And Kramer keeps walking as Jerry just stands there like, oh my God.
Excellent way to end the episode, and Is this not reminiscent of Kramer reading Penthouse Forum in the dinner party? He wanted to read those articles aloud at the dinner table.
Oh, man. Well, should we move on to ratings and reviews?
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
So what do you say, Matthew? Is this episode the tops?
I think it's the tops. Definitely, man. This is, I think, one of the heavy hitters to come out of season 6. I think you could find a lot of Seinfeld fans that would put this in their top 20 of all time. What about you?
You're looking at one of them. I loved everything about this episode. Revisiting this was a real treat for me, and I got a lot of laughs out loud, which always is a good mark of a Seinfeld rewatch for me. But Kramer and Jerry's storyline specifically, I really dug. With the whole the drooling, the shoes, he's all shot up with Novocaine. George's sweating from the Kung Pao chicken. I thought that was a great storyline. What was Elaine's? Just that she dated Jimmy.
Well, and the thing with Hank and
okay. So
she didn't have as much to do as the guys.
Yeah. She didn't get a lot of service, but Michael definitely just sparkled this episode, and I loved having Mel Torme as a guest star this week. And just each plot point I thought was so well done and cleverly crafted that this made for a very enjoying episode for me. So, this is probably, I'm gonna say this is my favorite episode of season 6 thus far.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so looking at your top 20 here, where are you gonna rank it?
Ooh. After looking at my top 20 list, I see that the label maker is number 11. So how can the Jimmy be my favorite? So I guess I misspoke, but it's among my favorites from season 6 because the label maker is still solid and has to stay at 11. I'm going to keep the Jimmy at number 16.
16. Okay, so it's going to go between the lip reader and the parking spot.
Yeah.
And what episode are you saying goodbye to?
I'm saying adios, muchacho, to Keith Hernandez and the boyfriend.
Oh, my favorite episode.
I'm so sorry.
Well, Vinny, I feel the same way. This is definitely in my top 5 for season 6. I don't think I like it as much as, believe it or not, as much as the soup. I just love Kenny Bania. And even the couch. So, I mean, we're going to say goodbye to it eventually. I think I'll just put it in at my number 20, say goodbye to the big salad.
Oh, that's weak.
I know. I feel the same way you do, though, man. Like with, Tim Whatley, Mel Torme, meeting Mr. Wilhelm.
Those lines, George likes chicken spicy. Like all these great things came out of this episode.
So quotable. And I love the guest star this week. Is it Anthony Stark?
Yeah.
Fantastic job as Jimmy, and I love his roles on License to Kill, and Repossessed. He was a great actor in the 80s and 90s. I haven't seen any of his recent stuff, but I gotta say my favorite storyline this episode was the Jerry Tim Whatley storyline.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I love anytime Whatley and Jerry get together and there's some tension, whether it's converting to Judaism or the yada yada, all that garbage. The mystery element, that is some of my favorite Seinfeld stuff, when you're wondering the whole episode, what happened, why does this person act this way, and you never truly get resolution to it. You kind of do in that epilogue, but it's still a mystery. Was Jerry taken advantage of?
You let the audience member decide. If you want Jerry to be violated and be damaged goods, he can be.
Oh, man. But yeah, big fan of this episode. Definitely one of the best.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, as well as calling us at Coco Bosco. That's COCOA-BOSCO.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
We are discussing the 20th episode of Season 6, The Doodle.
Oh, what's that about?
It's a story about love, deception, greed, lust, and unbridled enthusiasm.
Unbridled enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's right. But for now, I'm Vinny.
I'm Matt.
Signing off.
Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to dedicate this song to a very courageous young man. When you're smiling, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. So stop that sighing, be happy again. Keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. The whole world smiles with you.